Whenever I go home and ask my dad, where do you want to eat today? My treat. Regardless of whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I always get the same response: IHOP. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, IHOP, otherwise known as the International House of Pancakes, is a fine establishment. You can get as many pancakes as you want for a reasonable price, and they're pretty delicious. I appreciate it. But the reason he chooses IHOP isn't because he loves pancakes. It's because for him, it's the embodiment of the American dream. He came here from India in the 70s and worked as a dishwasher at IHOP in the night shift. And that's where he learned that with discipline and hard work, you can go a long way. And he used this discipline when he was raising us. When he was watching the news, if I would run across the TV, he would throw a shoe at me. If I made a 98 on a test, he would ask, where did those other 2 points go? But regardless of being a disciplinarian, I always knew that he loved me. I'm from Texas, and my father came to every square dance. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a room full of second graders try to square dance, but taking the time out of your day to come do that is true love. When nobody wanted to coach my 5th grade soccer team, he stepped up to the plate, even though he had a full-time job, and said, let's do it. Ironically, we were named Team Ghana, and we just got pummeled week after week by Italy and Colombia and Brazil and Germany, but he stuck with it. And 2 weeks before my 21st birthday, our relationship changed considerably. He had a massive stroke in his early 50s, and that was not a part of his American dream. He had to relearn all of the things he had once learned how to do as an infant and a child, and I took the year off to be right there with him. He had to relearn my name. He had to relearn how to eat with a spoon, how to sit in a chair for longer than 20 minutes, how to stand, how to take his first few steps. And I was just floored by him as a patient and by seeing how resilient patients can be in the face of a considerable amount of adversity. Last year I got married, and he practiced for months to make sure that we could have the father-daughter dance I always dreamed of. He practiced with his therapist. He practiced with my sister, my future husband, anybody he could get his hands on. He also spent over a year on my wedding present, which was this book that he typed using only his right hand. It's pretty funny, nobody be sad. It's filled with all the lessons that he wanted me to learn and keep in mind long after he's gone. My favorite is the lesson after chapter 3, which states, choosing your college is more important than choosing your husband. Keep in mind that this was my wedding present. And we were reading it on my honeymoon. But these experiences are what drive me to do what I do today. And I'm a pediatrician, and I work to be the best pediatrician that I can be and be the best advocate for my patients. And I came to the ed school primarily to learn how to pass this along to other medical students, residents, other healthcare personnel, because it's so important to me that we advocate for our patients in whatever way we can. Whether it's stopping in the middle of taking a history because your patient is shivering and looks cold to go grab a blanket, or taking it a step further and seeing an infant accidentally drink e-cigarette fluid in the emergency room and go to the state house to improve safety regulations. I want people to advocate in whatever way they can for their patients, because you never know what they've been through, where they're coming from. And that patient is someone's daughter, someone's nephew, someone's granddaughter, or someone's father. Thank you.